It's exactly 4 o'clock here in New York, Buffalo. I salute you all. My name is Mwaka Lutukumoy, based in New York, Ugandan. I came about 5 years ago. My name is Mwaka Lutukumoy. As I presented before, I was the former national elected spokesman of Democratic Party in Uganda. And of course, I'm a victim of torture. Why am I saying this? Because Africa needs proper leadership. Africa needs a great leadership so that millions don't leave Africa and come to the West. Friends, in 2011, I and other members of opposition in Uganda organized a demonstration, a protest called Walk to Work. In this protest, over 8,000 people were killed, many tortured. I'm a victim of the torture. I was badly beaten, broke my hands, my back, and I didn't know that it damaged my spines. I came to the US, had surgeries. As I speak, I'm disabled. I live in pain. I walk with a cane. The neurological disease I developed as a result of torture affects my speech. That's why I'm struggling. I'm learning to speak. Please bear with me. It gives me headache every day. My head turns. In February this year, I fell down and broke my legs. That aside, the moral question is, what kind of leadership do we need in Africa? That's a moral question. Shame upon you, Professor P.L.O. Lumumba. Shame upon you, Comrade Malema. Shame upon you, all those Africans, all Africans condemning the West, calling for communism, and focusing on loving even the coups which are happening in Africa. I remember Julius Malema saying of EFF, saying he supports the coup leaders in West Africa. That's stupidity. He talked about supporting communism. He said African leaders are only corrupt, but communism is a good thing. I don't think. Communism, the three leadership, the biblical leadership of God, humility, respect for the others, and of course, godly base. You believe in what is right for the people. We have the Western democracy. The Western democracies, government of the people, for the people, and for the people. Respect of rule of law. As I speak, in the US, no one is above the law. The former president, Donald Trump, is in court. He goes to jail, he goes to court, and is always apprehended. So look, even presidents are not safe in the West. But in Africa, they are above the law. We talk the West is bad. Look, democracy has failed. I was talking of 3 modes of leadership in Africa. One is by God. Consensus building is the same with the African system. I think we should understudy democracy, the godly thing, and the African system. Democracy is the rule of law. It's about rights of the people. Unfortunately, the West did not take Africans the true democracy. They took us hypocrisy. They choose whoever leader they want. That's why we have had dictatorships. That's why we have had wars and chaos in Africa, because they have their own interest. We Africans must be sharp and smart. We should ask questions. Where is their interest? What is their interest as Africans? Look, we have 35% of the world's natural resources. We have over 1.3 billion people, just slightly lower than India. And yet, the West tells us to go family planning, which is wrong. We are few with the biggest, by the way, our land system is not so good, but we have bigger land, 12 times the size of Europe, America, India put together. We have big land, but we are stupid. We celebrate dictatorship. Look, democracy has failed. The godly system and the African way is still the best. Communism is terrible, not right. By the way, Julius Malema, if you go communism, it means the ANC will be the only party. You're nowhere. It will be a new dictatorship. You either kill and be there, or they kill you. We need to come up with a strategy as Africans so that we can have, imagine that 45, I'm disabled and brought my resources here. I'm a scholar. I lecture here and there. But because of sickness, I can't do nothing. I'm home. I can't walk. I can't talk. Terrible. And we are talking about the West against the West. What have we done as Africans? Nigeria, since independence in 1960, has had over 5 coups. Uganda, over 5 coups from independence, 66, 70s, Idi Amin, 81, the coup in election, DP1. Sorry. I told them sickly, I've over-talked. And then 85 and 86, General 72, that Africa has seen coups and wars during the Cold War. It's that time we have to think. Else we have to go back to maybe monarchism, where monarchs groom the children and they become presidents. That's what most Africans do. Look at Guinea, look at Mali, recently Niger, Burkina Faso. People are so happy. They put in the photo of the president everywhere. They say it's a new Sankara. That's what happened to Rwanda and Uganda. In 1986, we praised President Museveni, and today we are praying for transition. We said we'll change things. What? He came with 10-point programs. He came with the ideology of socio-economic transformation for Uganda. He came with the zero tolerance to corruption, sincerely. What happened today? That 7 years, we're expecting the sun to come in. We expect more chaos and chaos unless it comes up to go transition and create a national conversation. Because there's no coup that brings peace. After a coup, there'll be more coups. Because these generals have got relatives. Aronda, the late has relatives. Moyomo had relatives. All these generals who died and against the project have got relatives. People like Tenyafuza, Sejusa has relatives. We need to come together. Martin Luther King said here, the US, doctor, that delayed, that unless we die together as brothers, we shall die together as fools. Africans, we have to now see the kind of leadership we need. Godly African, because African system is based on consensus. It's based on consensus and respect of the rest. Just godly way. Then we have the Western democracy, government of the people, for the people, whatever, rule of law. Currently in Africa is monarchical communism, because we have autocracy, we have kleptocracy, and all those kind of fake things. And by the way, we're in a ship which is half filled. We need to scatter, else Africa will still keep on being served on the table, but not discussions at the table, but shall be the dinner and breakfast and supper for these people. I see most of you are talking about the East against the West. Come on. The kind of colonialism we're going for is worse. Under dictatorship, it's terrible. We have never seen real communism. Therefore, let's balance between communism, democracy, and the African consensus. And we come with a better system of governance. Initially, I talked about what kind of government do Africans need if we are to have a United States of Africa. But if we still torture intellectuals and political leaders, if we still rig elections like in Nigeria, recently Zimbabwe, Guinea, Bissau. By the way, Ali Bongo family lived for more than 65 years in power. The person who took over is from the same family, but I don't know what's happening there. Friends, we have to change. Else we shall see more coups and wars because of personal interests, gerrymandering politics, but we need to juxtapose the three and we come up with a more convenient system of governance in Africa. Thank you. Remember to subscribe again. Thank you so much, those who did, and those who give me personal feedback in my email, in my WhatsApp, in my Twitter. They send me messages, inbox, that they follow and like what I'm doing. Thank you so much. It gives me more courage to move on. Thank you.